Okay. Hey, Danny.
Hey,
Um,
Lori.
hey, it's good to see you. Um,
Likewise.
so my name's Lori Mode. I'm with the Mode Real Estate Group of Keller Williams Realty Elk Grove, and this is Danny Tarantino from my team. Um, and we are having trouble, unfortunately, figuring out Zoom and Facebook Live together. So we will work hard on figuring that out. I know it can be done, and I've tried it for the last half an hour, 45 minutes, and I can't figure it out. So
Oh, we're
anyway,
doing it this way.
yeah, we're doing it this way.
We're
We're
doing it this
recording
way.
it.
Yeah.
So
We're
today,
all about improvising in this new market. So this is
you're
just
right.
another way. Yeah.
We are, yeah. So today I wanted to chat with Danny for a few minutes because he's the buyer's agent on our team and he works with all of our buyers. And he's been on the team for 12 years now.
It was 12 years in February. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I
So
know.
you have been through up and down markets at this point, haven't you?
Yeah. So I actually got into the business at the tail end of 2006. I started out in Reno, Nevada, and then moved my way to Elk Grove and joined your team in February of 2008 and as an assistant. And so I saw the market, the downturn of the market in 8, 9, 10, all the way to up to, what is it, 13, 14. So the short sales, the foreclosures, the REOs.
Those days were fun.
Those days were fun. So I've lived through that shift in the real estate market. But this shift with coronavirus, with COVID-19, this is a totally different shift. And correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, we haven't seen anything like this in your 30 years.
Nope.
Yeah. So this is kind of new to all of us.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And how do you think this is different from 2010?
Well,
All the REOs and short sales.
Well, it's different in that back then we were still able to do real estate normally, whereas we could show properties, we can go in, we didn't have masks, we didn't have gloves, we didn't have to do all these different safety precautions prior to going in and looking at short sales or REOs, real estate owned, or foreclosures, things like that. Now we have to take extra steps to make sure that we stay safe as realtors, that our clients stay safe, and the sellers as well.
Okay.
It's different. So there's forms that we have to fill out now, and we have to wear masks, and we have to wear gloves, and we have to have Clorox wipes, or some sort of disinfectant hand sanitizer with us, when we go out and look at those houses that are vacant.
And sometimes back in the REO days, it felt like we should have all that stuff with us.
True. Some of the houses,
Yeah.
when we got some of those homes assigned to us and we had to go in for the very first time, gosh, we saw things that we probably didn't want to see,
Right.
Some of
Yeah,
them, not all of them.
And things that we're not seeing now, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's a completely different type of a shift.
Yes, it is. So how have we shifted as a team? What are we doing differently? Because I don't see you anymore. I always see you over Zoom, right?
So that's the biggest shift right there, is that you and I do not see each other every morning at whatever time we get into the office, 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and stay throughout the day. We don't see each other throughout the day. No longer are we going to lunch and talking about business strategies and things like that. We are home, and we are inside, or we are sheltering in place. And we're doing a lot of these Zoom calls. Every morning, our team, Monday through Friday, we have a 9 o'clock call, and we check in with each other. And that's good to do, because we didn't check in with each other necessarily every day when we were in the office face to face, and we knew what we were doing. Right. If we were walking out to go to an appointment, we said so. Or if we were in prospecting and didn't need to, couldn't be bothered because we were making our prospecting calls. Our team knew that. Now, we don't have that face-to-face accountability anymore. So we check in with each other in the morning to really set us up for success throughout the day. What's a win from yesterday, and what are you going to do today? And then at the end of the day at 4:00, we do the same thing again. We check in. What was your win for the day? What was your challenge for the day? What did you accomplish today? And, and I feel that it's holding me more accountable. And I think you'll agree with this, is that I'm, my calls are more consistent, my reaching out to my clients and that whole aspect of it, doing the things that we need to do on a daily basis during this shift, we're doing. Yeah. We're doing. And doing it face to face, doing it, while sheltering in place, it's holding us a little bit more accountable, I feel.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
So you mentioned success. So are you having success during this time? Have you been actually selling houses?
I feel that I'm having great success during this pandemic. During this, it is an interesting time. I am. I have currently, I have 3 buyers in escrow, and I have, we have 1 listing that we put on the market during COVID-19, and all of my clients, with the exception of 1, I got her into contract just before the shelter in place took effect. So I was able to take her into the property at that point. Now we can't do that. And you just have to adjust. You just have to roll with the punches and adjust your business a little bit, but know that and have confidence that there is business to be had out there.
There is? Okay, so as a buyer, do you think now's a good time to buy? Or should I wait till after this is all over?
So you could wait till it's all over. And number one, we don't know when it's going to be over. We hear bits and pieces every day about when the shelter in place might be lifted, but will the effects of COVID-19 really be over until we have a vaccination? Will people really be going back to restaurants and bars and movies and everything, while there isn't a vaccination? And so, but yeah, it's a good time to buy. And here's why. Some buyers have had the same thought process. Should I wait? Should I not wait? Interest rates right now are low. They're staying historically low, and they have been for quite some time, which is great for buyers and for sellers, because that means that if most likely sellers are selling their home and going to buy somewhere else, so they get to benefit from the low interest rates, and there's an influx of buyers out there that are still looking to purchase. I checked with one of our preferred lenders, Karen Dunn with Big Valley Mortgage. She sent me some figures, a range of interest rates. So for conventional right now, it's about 3.125.
Wow.
3.125 up to 3.5. With FHA, hold your glasses, 2.75%.
What?
For FHA.
No way.
Yeah, I'm going blank right now because I'm going to pull it up really quick. Okay, conventional 3.25% to 3.75, FHA 2.75 to 3, and VA is 3.125 to 3.5. Now, granted, this is all based on credit score, purchase price, things like that. So there are some other variables that we have to take into place, but interest rates are really low, guys.
Yeah, they are. Really, that's crazy. When I bought my first house, it was like 17.5%. So yeah.
I bought my condo and it was at 4.125, and then of course
great rate. Yeah. So now is a good time to buy then.
I think so. And the other reason, if you decided to wait, that's obviously, you have to think about what's good for your situation, your lifestyle, your family, what have you. And if you are ready to buy, buy now, because a lot of buyers have that same thought process where they're going to wait and see how this pans out. Well, as soon as this all comes to an end, there's going to be a huge influx of buyers out there, and that translates to multiple offers. So more competition. Right now, yes, we are still seeing multiple offers in some price points, between under the 400,000, 3 to 350 is a hot price point right now. And there's still multiple offers in that range. So once this ends, if it ends tomorrow or if it ends next week, and everybody gets the clear to go back out there and buy, or the shelter in place lifts, they're going to be out there because they're going to also take advantage of those low interest rates right now. So get ahead of the curve and get out there now. If you're ready to do it, might as well do it.
Yep, and then we'll see more multiple offers again.
Exactly.
So because sellers are waiting too right now. So because if they're living in their homes, it is harder to show them. And so some of them are nervous about having buyers come in. So if I'm a buyer and I've decided now is the right time to buy, how do I make sure that I'm safe out there?
That's a great question. That's a question that
to see houses.
It is safe to see houses. You just we have to take extra precaution. So homes right now, Sacramento County has, the shelter in place, and it is not advised that we show occupied properties. Buyers right now, if they're interested in occupied property, they basically have to write an offer on the property after viewing the virtual tour and the pictures. So right now, a lot of listing agents are doing a really good job of hiring professional photographers to shoot their houses because it gives really clear pictures, not cell phone pictures. And a lot of them are doing Matterport virtual tours. So I showed a house to a client based off of a Matterport virtual tour. It wasn't the right layout for them. It wasn't perfect for them. So we didn't go see it, but that's the step that we have to take right now. So you look at the pictures online, you look at the virtual tour. If at that point you are still interested in looking at the home, oops, sorry, I just lost you. Sorry about that. If you are still interested in looking at the home, then you have to sign it's called a Property Entrance Advisory and Declaration, and it's PED. It's a coronavirus addendum, and it basically states you haven't been infected with COVID-19. You haven't been around anybody that has, and you are agreeing to take the proper safety precautions, which are masks, social distancing of 6 feet or greater, Clorox wipes, hand sanitizers. And then for owner-occupied properties, for those agents that are showing, I personally am not, but for those agents that are, if you are listening, have the seller or the listing agent turn on all the lights, open up all the doors, closets, pantries, hall closets, whatever, so that you and the buyer have minimal contact with any surfaces in the house. You just walk in, you look at everything, and then you walk out. And so I know some agents are doing that. We on our team, as you know, are not showing occupied homes. The vacant homes are a little bit different. We can show vacant homes, and you still have to sign that coronavirus addendum. We also have to get a copy, and it's highly recommended that you ask the listing agent, if you're representing a buyer, even on a vacant property, that you ask that listing agent for a copy of that coronavirus addendum, stating that the seller and the listing agent have not been in contact or infected with the COVID-19, so that you're protected and we're protected as the buyer and the buyer's agents when going into vacant properties.
Right. So you sold one of our vacant properties in 2 days. Last weekend, which was really nice.
We were doing that was cool. We were doing our preview open house, our virtual tour open house, and somebody rolled up and said, "Hey, I have to have this house. Yes, sir, you do. So it worked out beneficial for both the buyer and our seller. So that was great.
Yep.
Win-win.
Everybody's
Yeah.
really happy about it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yep. So what about my financing? What do I do about financing?
Okay, so financing, no matter what market we're in, you always want to have your financing laid out. So I whenever I talk to a buyer and they, whether it's an internet call or a sign call, or I'm just talking to them off the street, I always ask them if they've been pre-approved for a home loan. And the reason that I do that is because I don't want to take someone out and show them a $500,000 house and then fall in love with it. And then they realize that they're only comfortable with a $400,000 or $450,000 payment, because that plays a part in as well. So my advice is before we even go out and look at any properties, we're getting you pre-approved, whether it's with one of our preferred vendors, or if you have a relationship with your own mortgage company or your own bank. It doesn't matter, just as long as you understand that you get pre-approved first, so that okay, I'm going to buy a $500,000 house and I'm putting 20% down, and this is what my payment's going to be. Okay, I'm good with that payment. So okay, great, we can go look at those homes in that
Right.
price range.
Well,
The second, oh, go ahead.
Oh, the other thing is, as a listing agent, we're not letting, and the sellers are not letting buyers into homes right now, even if they are vacant, unless the buyer's been pre-approved. It's
That
just
is
not
true.
happening, because we've got to tighten things up. We've got to be more careful.
That is true. The showings have definitely dropped off on a lot of our listings. Whereas, we put that one listing on the market last Wednesday, and by Friday we would have had like 7 or 8 showings, if not 1 or 2 offers, and that stopped. And because that's just another step that we have to take when setting up showings. Right. We have to send over that pre-approval letter to ensure that the buyer is pre-approved. We have to show the seller and show the listing agent that the buyer is pre-approved for this dollar amount and to buy this house should they like it.
Right. Yeah. So what happens if I lose my job in the middle of the escrow? I find a house and then all of a sudden I lose my job. Then what do we do?
That is very much a possibility. And while it hasn't happened to any of our transactions, it has happened to a couple realtors in our office, and other realtors that I've just kind of powwowed with and chit-chatted with about the market. And yeah, that is a big concern for buyers. And here's what I say. You find a house, you can lose your job at any moment, whether COVID, whether you get sick, or the company decides to do layoffs. You could lose your job at any moment. And the way we write a contract, there's protection for you in that contract. You have contingencies. You have the inspection, the review of the disclosures and reports, appraisal contingency, and the final is the loan contingency. And if by that 21st day when that loan contingency is due, or what I like to do is try and push it out as far as possible, that loan contingency up to, at least where you sign loan documents, just to protect you a little bit more. Sorry, I got to put my sunglasses on. It's bright out here. This is a beautiful day out here. So you've got the contingencies to protect your deposit and to protect you. And so when I tell my clients, when I'm going through my buyer consultation, is I explain to them that my job is to find you a house, negotiate on your behalf, and get you the house that you want. Once we get into contract, one of my many tasks, but I feel it's one of my more important tasks, is to protect that deposit. Mm-hmm. On a $500,000 purchase, you're looking at about $5,000. About 1% is what you're looking at. And so my job is to protect that money. In the event that you lose your job, you have those contingencies to fall back on. And cancel the contract if you have to. If you can work it out with the lender. So what I tell my clients is if you have that fear, you need to talk to your lender the moment you feel if you might be losing your job. Reach out to your lender, reach out to me. We will guide you to make the right decision. If you are buying it with your spouse or a partner, maybe that spouse or partner can carry that mortgage for a while until you get a job again, until you get off your feet. And if that's not a possibility, maybe you have a co-signer, a family member or very close friend that could co-sign for you while trying to maneuver through this. If none of those are options, then in the interest of protecting your deposit and getting your money back, you might want to consider canceling the contract and just waiting.
Okay.
And it's a tough conversation to have with a client, especially when, this is the house for them. And if we can't get use those other options, while it is a tough conversation, I'd rather it be an honest conversation that I'm having than trying to not be truthful with our clients. Yeah.
Right. So you're going to make sure that my deposit is protected up until as long as possible.
100%. 100%. That is my job. And I guide my clients every step of the way. Okay, we've gone through this inspections. We've done a request for repairs. They've agreed to it. And okay, now we have to remove our inspection contingency. Okay, now you cannot cancel the contract as a result of something on the inspections. You still have appraisal, you still have loan. And, once we get to the loan portion of it, I tell them, okay, this is it. You lose your deposit, or you release that deposit or that contingency. And if you cancel, it's harder for me to fight for that deposit back.
Right.
Yep. If you get cold feet versus if something major happens, like if you were to contract COVID, that's a valid reason to cancel the contract.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what else what about inspections? You mentioned inspections. How are inspections being done right now?
So inspections, again, we are adapting to this new norm, if you want to call it a norm right now. We're adapting to this market. So the way inspections used to be was particularly my home inspections was the buyer would show up about an hour before the inspection was completed, and the home inspector would walk around the property. We would go through the report and discuss all the findings that needed to be addressed, and then do a walk around of the property. Now we can't do that anymore because even the home inspectors are recommending that the client and the agents are not there unless it is to open up the door for them. So the last inspection that I did for a client was done over Zoom, and the home inspector, Matt Beeston with Pillar to Post, was phenomenal with my client, being that she has not purchased a home in almost 40 years, and she had a lot of questions. The house was clean, which was great, and she still had a lot of questions about various aspects of the home, and that is how we had to do it. We had to do it over Zoom, and we pulled up the inspection report and we went through it line by line, and we just did the same thing that we would do face to face. We just did it now over Zoom.
Right.
Yeah.
We're using Zoom a lot for a lot of things. We should have all bought stock in Zoom 3 months ago.
I know.
Yeah.
And as
no idea.
None of us had any idea. And as much as we want to gripe about all the Zoom calls that we have to be on in one day, I think one day last week, you and I counted that we were on like 7 or 8 Zoom calls in one day.
Right.
And that's not normal. I mean, that's one random day. And it's our way of staying in contact with our clients, our agents in our office, our leadership, so our family, our friends. I mean, this is just something new.
And we can do buyer consultations over Zoom. We can do listing presentations over Zoom.
Yeah.
5 years ago, if this had happened 5 years ago, I don't know what we would have done. We were all learning to use FaceTime then.
Yeah.
So Zoom is much better. We can actually share things with our clients we can share our screen. We can do all sorts of things over Zoom. So the one thing I can't figure out is how to go on Facebook Live over Zoom. I'll get that figured out. But
so if anybody has any suggestions, comment below.
Comment below. Let us know. So anything else? I think we've pretty much covered everything. Anything else you want buyers to know about right now?
So I ran some statistics this morning. I looked at the last 24 hours in all of Sacramento County. Sorry, I've got things coming up on my phone. I'm doing this on my phone from a park because I had to get out of my house. I mean, it's beautiful out here.
Yes, it is.
It's a park near my house. There's no one out here. It's completely
wow.
Nice. It's really nice. And I can walk over here. So I take my dog out for a walk. It's nice to get out instead of being cooped up inside the house all day, which most of us are. Anyway, I digress. So I ran some statistics this morning, the last 24 hours in Sacramento County. So this is including Elk Grove, Sacramento, Rancho Cordova, things like that, Natomas, different areas. There were 207 new listings hit the market. Wow. 207. Yeah. So that was good. There's a total of 263 active pendings. Now this is where when folks say, the market is doom and gloom and I don't want to buy right now. It's not doom and gloom. 146 homes went pending in the last 24 hours.
Wow.
That's on a Friday. It's busier. Yeah. It's busier when these stats come out on Monday. They're going to be busier because we've got all the stats from the weekend that are going to be coming up. On top of that, 127 closed. So 127 buyers bought a house, which means that where are we? Are 425 right now. Yeah. So that means they got into contract, possibly got into contract right as the shelter in place took place. Maybe a week or so before. So maybe they got in, they were able to see the house. But I would venture to say that a big chunk, maybe 30 to 40% of these closed deals, the buyer may or may not have seen the property, so they're buying these properties sight unseen. That is something that's happening right now. And buyers have to be prepared for it. I have the deal that I have up in Gold River, the listing agent who Lauren, you and I have done a transaction with her way back in the short sale days. I asked her if I could go in and do my visual inspection and if we could get into to take some measurements. And she said, unfortunately, we can't. Now, this is the buyer that I got in right before the shelter in place order took place. So I was able to get her in so she could see the house. But we can't go back in until the seller vacates, which is fine. That the buyer's perfectly fine with that. But that was lucky. Some buyers don't even get in. Here's the fun thing. Price reductions. There were 97 price reductions yesterday. And now, in my opinion, 97 for all of Sacramento County is very, very small. We see price reductions even in a regular market. We see price reductions every day.
Right.
Where it might be a smidge higher now, and it's not crazy. Yes, when the shelter in place first took place, we saw a lot of price reductions. We saw a lot of cancellations or expires. That's changed. Cancellations and expires, 51 yesterday. And those could be for a whole slew of reasons, not necessarily because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
But I feel that the market is, while we are still in a shift, I still feel that the market is moving. Buyers want to buy. Sellers want to sell. Buyers want to get to their next venture in life. They need a bigger house. Maybe they're having a child, or maybe they're empty nesters and they don't need 3,000 square feet anymore. They want a smaller 1,200 square foot house. And sellers, you know, they want to move. They want to,
Right.
whatever their situation is, it's not preventing them from selling, and it's not preventing them from buying.
Right. Yep. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap this up, we're going to put this on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And if you do have questions, if anybody has questions for you, Danny, how do they contact you directly?
So you can call me or text me. My cell phone number is area code 650-533-6890. Again, that's 650-533-6890. You could do that. You can also leave a comment below. So we are going live we're going to be posting this in about 5 minutes at 2:00, which is when our live was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I will be both on my Facebook page. I will also be on Elk Grove Real Estate's business page, answering questions. So if you have questions, DM us, post a comment below, or shoot me a text, give me a call, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Or if you have friends, family members, neighbors that are thinking about buying or selling, holler. We are here to educate. If it's a right situation for them and their family, then great, we'll move forward. And if it's not, that's fine too. We will help them when they're ready.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, and
Thank you, Lori.
I will hopefully see you soon.
This was great. I know. I know. We keep saying that every time we get off the Zoom calls. We're like,
I know.
hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yep.
Soon enough. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you very much. I've had a lot of fun.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. I can't see how to get it off.